It says we're live. I don't know if we actually are live, but I'm beach balling right now. As soon as it said we're live, I'm beach balling. So let me know in the comments section if we're actually live here. This is not good. This is not good. I don't even know if I can see the comment section. Yes, the browser's beach balling. I apologize. Let me try on my phone. The internet's been a little weird, so it very well could be that. Let's hope. Okay, so it looks like I am live. Connection is not great. YouTube had an issue as well. Yeah, so let me force quit this browser because that's not helping. And my Mac Pro, this is the old one in the basement, is running a little chunky. So, okay, cool. I am live. All right, sweet. Let me open up a different browser. Let's, because I just need to monitor comments and stuff. I can't do that through OBS. So, let me just open that up there. But hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to another Mac84 live stream. We're off to a good start, of course, as always. Oh boy. But yeah, let's try and get ourselves up and running here. I have a different setup with my screens. I'm looking at a screen that's off camera now that you can't see. So none of my iMessages or anything that I thought were too small to see, which were actually probably perfectly legible, will no longer be able to be seen by prying eyes. Hey, Classic Mac. Hey, Oz Retro Comp. Hey, Jay. Hey, Sad Mac 356. Oh, let's not have any Sad Macs today. Hello, Dana. Hello, Londo's Hair. The other Dana. Hello, Jeff. And hello, Trina. I don't know if I missed anybody else, but yeah, I'm sorry if it's really choppy. Same thing that Bruce was saying. It says the connection's excellent. Yeah, that's very strange. I don't want to stop streaming because it probably will screw things up. Let me just let it sit for 1 second. Let me see if that fixes the issue here. What I'm going to do is just log in, because I was not logged in on this this browser here momentarily. 1 second, please. Okay, because when I was loading up Chrome before, it was just hanging, like beach balling. And, it's not the best browser, but I've used it before without a problem. So, hopefully that does not repeat itself when I try and launch it on Firefox. I see OBS is lagging a little bit, not dropped frames or anything, but the video screen I'm seeing is a little delayed. Now, I'll explain why that may be in a second. Let me go here. There we go. Let's see if I could go back to the studio view here. I apologize if why is it playing advertisements though? Because I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Yeah, this is a little choppy. I apologize. Hold on. We will get there. We will get there. I appreciate you sticking through there. I know we got a dozen or so people watching, so thank you. Yeah, the internet is just not having a fun time tonight. It's around about an hour ago when Bruce started his stream. I loaded up my phone and the Wi-Fi was just bugging out. And I said, oh, that's weird. Let me refresh something. And that didn't seem to do it. Video is smooth now. Okay. Which is funny because now YouTube is saying, you are not receiving enough video data to maintain a smooth streaming experience. But, oh, actually, yep. Might have been the computer. I have no drop frames, but this machine down in the basement has spinning discs on it. So until I get some extra funds to slap an SSD in here, it's going to be a little chunky. But all right, cool. We are in good shape now. Apparently, let's start over. Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to another Mac84 live stream. Hopefully, it's smooth sailing from now on. And of course, it is because Bruce is here. Hello, Bruce. Right in time there. You're just seeing a single frame. Well, I hope some refreshing may do that. Like I said before, there have been some internet issues in my area of the country as early as 1 hour ago. So I might not have the best connection here, um, and everyone else may have some issues too. So I'm not blaming everybody else. I'm just saying we got some potential problems going on. And you know what? I might as well put a text banner on this stream if that becomes an issue. But I'm loading up a good page here, and I'll explain what we're going to be looking at in 1 second here. And let's see. We got... oh, look at that, Bruce. You do have the right model there. Thank you very much. Picture is good here. Okay, sweet. So today we are looking at something that we've looked at before on this stream. I don't know how many times, to be honest with you. I'm going to guess at least 2 times before. And yeah, this is a Quadra 840 AV. One of the best, if not the best, and the fastest 68K Mac desktop Apple ever put out there. And this machine has been through quite a lot. And we're gonna try and do our best here to take a better look at it here, see if we could do something with it. But yeah, I'm not going to give up on this machine. I have a long history with this machine. I bought it used for $5, and I loved this thing. I plugged it into my TV. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And went to boot it up a few years ago and just wouldn't boot up. And I think this was the second machine I tried to recap, and unfortunately that did not do it. But again, maybe I wasn't using the right caps or whatnot. You know, I could have easily made a mistake. It was like the second time I was doing it. So we're going to take a closer look at it today. See if we could see anything that is obviously wrong with it. We're going to try putting some fresh caps on there, and I have Bruce's guide right here. I should have both of those cap values, so we should be in good shape. The previous time we were playing around with this, we realized there was a leak of the 5-volt rail, which pretty much ran throughout the ground on the system, which not supposed to do that. That's kind of a problem. It's kind of bad. You don't want that happening on your computer. So, you know, one of our chatting sessions, whether it was on Mac84 or it was on Discord or afterwards, Bruce was saying, you know, I would just be curious if you just put caps on there and just see what it did. And so, you know what, that's what we're going to do. And I haven't recapped anything in a few weeks, or maybe actually over a month at this point. So I'm going to be a little sloppy and a little rusty, but hopefully the capacitors here should not be too harmful to me. We should be okay. Just ignore the 5 volts. It's fine. It's that burning smell, perfectly fine. That is a factory smell there. You're okay with that. So we got a few new things set up, maybe since the last time you guys have joined. We have this little microscope camera here, which is not the best, but oh, that's not the microscope camera. Oh, let's try that again. Oopsie. We are professionals, I promise you. No, that's the wrong camera. There we go. Maybe. Ah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, there's my OBS was sort of set up a little differently. Whenever I add a camera or a source, the Mac sort of freaks out there a bit. So we have a very, very, very cheapo microscope here, not nearly as good as the one Jay has or Bruce has. So the House of Moth in the chat and Brankus Creations are who I'm referring to when I refer to Jay, the House of Moth, or Bruce, Brankus Creations, but you probably already know that. Let's switch back to a camera where you can actually see what I'm doing here. We'll get to that in a second. And nope, a lot of chat going by here. Hey, PJ. As long as you don't let any smoke out. Well, I hope there's no smoke to be let out at all. So, and what else we got? Well, we got a side camera here. And so if I switch to the side camera, hello, you can see a side camera there. And then we have our above camera. You can see how lovely messy this desk is. And so we'll be switching around, hopefully not making anybody too dizzy, but if I have to show something, or if my arm is in the way, we'll switch to another camera, but probably be keeping on this and then going between the microscope and stuff at some point. So, any questions or anything before we get started? I know a lot of you have been here before and have been to the stream before and have some fun here before. So I very much appreciate that, because that is always appreciated when I have return viewers. It's always nice to see them again, and yeah, I mean that's what I like to see, because it's fun to have old familiar faces, as they say. So. All right, so let's get yes, nice multi cameras. Yeah, I think I ran out of USB ports on this Mac here. I'm using two up on the monitor. These are not expensive cameras. They're just little webcams I have. The one above I don't even think is 720p, and this microscope camera is all of $3 in plastic. So, but I try to make it look professional. So thank you very very much. That is very much appreciated. So, okay, so let's get started by getting our things together here. I'm going to reach behind me into my very organized box here and pull out some things that we'll have to go through. And looks like yeah, this is how I cleaned my desk last time. Everything went into the box, so that's perfect there. Let's make sure that we have everything that's not supposed to be here moved off to the side. Well, we're not doing any any Apple talking tonight, so this cable is not needed. 10 internet points for those of you who know what this is. Good old BNC connectors at the end of it. Alright, that'll go in the bin over there, and I'll forget it's there. Alright, we got our 16 volt 10 microfarad. We'll need these. So we're putting those to the side. What is with the phone on the desk? Oh, that's not just a phone. That's a modem. That's how I'm dialing up here. This is very high speed connectivity here. I have been playing around with the Macintosh 128, and this is the lovely modem and the phone that goes with it. The phone is not an Apple phone. It's just a Bell & Howell or Bell Atlantic, whatever the company was named at the time, telephone. But it fits perfectly on this modem. So that's an Apple 1200 baud modem for the original Macintosh and the Apple II series, I believe. Could work with a lot of Apple systems. Just a serial modem. Probably could work on a PC too. Okay, yes, let's get the good flux here. Not the rotten meat flux. We do not want that. Nobody's a fan of that. Okay, and what else we need? Got our good soldering tips here. We got our scrapey tools and our pokey tools. Poke, poke, scrape, scrape. We will need those probably. Ah! I am a mess today, aren't I? Alright, and don't answer that. And we need our snips. See, I should have had this all prepared, but I was watching Bruce's stream and I was just so captivated. I refuse to do anything else. So, all right, and we got some insulated wire. Hopefully, we won't need that for now. And I just need the rest of the caps, and we'll be okay. So I put this on the ground. Just a question: what does flux do? Well, I'm going to butcher that, but I will try my best to remember the scientific explanation for it. And then Bruce and Jay are slamming on their keyboards now in preparation for me screwing that up. But what flux is helpful with is guiding solder to the metal pads that are on the board and helping to get rid of all the nasty goop and oxidization or what have you that has maybe plagued those pads before. Helps loosen everything up, helps clean everything. Cleans simply, and it also helps solder flow. Yeah, sure, that's exactly what I said. I don't have to explain it all. I just use it liberally, and that's why I use this. And yeah, much better than what the previous individuals used to call the rotten meat flux, which was just disgusting old cheapo flux. That's horrible. Yes, exactly what Bruce said. All right, so let's find where those other caps went. Again, I apologize. I haven't done this in about a month, and I should have found the other bag of caps. They are probably just in a bin by my feet, and I just don't see them at the moment. How are you all doing tonight? Hope you're doing okay. I know I'm probably a little bit away from the microphone, but I'm shouting. Ah, here they are. Here they are. Flux helps you travel through time when you do 88 miles per hour in your recap DeLorean. Yes, it does. You always have to make sure to stay away from those Libyans, though. It could be a doozy. Alright, so we got our 50 volts. Nope, we don't need those. 6.3 volts, not today. 16 volts, 47 microfarad. Yay, found him. Alright. Okay, we are pretty good to go, I think. We have some axials in here and some other goodies. We're going to put that back down here. I really need like a dedicated colored bin that's easy to identify. Just makes me really notice and pay attention to where my stuff is. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Okay, so let's move the webcam off of the hot air station. We don't want that to get any toastier than it should. And let's move some of these failed image writer printouts. There you go, Bruce. There's a free plug for you. A laser writer, image writer, you know, all this fun stuff. You can tell I've been busy printing, and with varying rates of success. I think we had a good one here. That's a beauty. I want to frame that. That's some modern art. There we go. This I believe is a perfect advertisement for Apple's quality printing of their laser writer Select 360, which I know Scarlet Swordfish did a stream of successfully, actually. He had some of the same streaking I did, so we think it's the toner. Apparently the drum or whatever is built into that toner, which may make it why it's so expensive, but they probably also haven't been producing toner for 20 to 25 years for that model. Alright, so let's move that printer paper over there so we don't start a fire, because that would be bad. I don't want to start any fires on my desk. Alright, let's just move some of this junk away so we could get our hot air station out. Again, very much prepared. We are professionals here. Okay. How did my soldering iron get on top of... How did I tangle this? This is very interesting. There's a VGA cable? And yeah, you guys have to... Yeah, this is... let's go to the... well, that's the wrong one. But, yeah, we'll just stay on this one. We're all sorts of tangled. Hold on. Okay, let's put that back there. There we go. The random things you find on my desk, like the bottom rubber foot to a G3 blue and white tower. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that printer, what is it, 97, 96, something like that, is well in need of a good toner. I refuse to spend the $100 or so that they're asking for said toner, because I just want to use the printer as an example of an Apple Talk network. I don't need it to look 100% beautiful. That's all. Okay, cool. So let's get the camera in a little better position here so we can show you what we're doing here. Okay, and I'm gonna make sure that our microscope works. Let's switch over to that for a second. And again, this is an awful microscope. It is well worth its weight in plastic. And whenever I move it, OBS seems to freeze for a second. That's not good. That is not good at all. Let's see why that is happening there. And the stream seems to freeze. That is not good at all. Let me try and adjust this here. Maybe I have too many layers or something. Yes, and sorry, we're doing this live, so yeah. All right, does that? That's much better. Yeah, I think I had too many layers there. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, this camera is not the best, but it's what I got. So I'm using what I got, and when I get something better, I'll use that. But let's zoom into an area here where you could see where the caps were and where they need to go. And it would help if I adjusted this so I could actually touch the manual zoom. There we go. That's not too bad. But this board is brown in color, so it reflects a lot of darkness and light in a weird way. So I mean, that looks pretty nasty right there. Oh, I am remembering some of the traces that we found when we were doing this last. Why did I think that this would be something to just stream right off the bat? Well, let's get our beepy to beep here. Get our multimeter here, as I am very curious what the heck is going on here. Alright, just catch up on the chat. Sorry, let me make this chat bigger so I can actually pay attention to this a little better. Pop out chat. That's the whole reason why I put the monitor over here. I should actually use it for that reason. And I lifted some pads, I think. Oh, let's not remind myself of that. I like the foolish optimism better. Oh no, Steve, you did perfect. You did perfect last time. You didn't screw up at all. Okay, so that's a little bit better. There we go. The eyes ain't as good as they used to be. Alright, cool. Alright, so I am just going to test the continuity between these pads and where they were supposed to go. Oh gosh, this is just that's a bad idea written all over it. You know, Bruce makes it look easy, and I just make it look, you know, like I'm drowning. But that's okay. Plenty of water to go around. Alright, yeah, so the flux has left some residue on here. There's the pad we lifted. Oh, boy. Yes, this is the real world. Nothing works perfectly, but we're going to do our best here. Alright, so, yeah, I think that's the pad we lifted there. Let's see. Alright, it still has contact where it's supposed to. So that is at least a little bit encouraging. Yeah, I don't know if there's really anything I could do to... There's nothing really I could anchor this to. It is still connected. I'm almost naive enough to say if I were to put a capacitor on there, it would hold everything in place. And then we have this lovely trace running right under it. Is that actually covered? Or is that... See, it's hard to tell with the color of this board if there's actually copper shining through, or if that's actually something you could if that's actually copper, or if it's actually covered up there with the proper solder mask from the factory and such. Let's see. Yeah, that seems to be coated because none of that's picking up. Okay, that's good. I know I scraped away at some points here. And I don't know if it was this board or not, because yeah, we do have some suspect areas like this here, where we have some lovely little black spots. And I think this is where I scraped away. So if I go here, yeah, this is where I scraped away, and it was fine. Well, it's not fine, but there is a connection between one point and the other. So if I go to, this is actually for the floppy ribbon cable. If I go to this pin there, it goes all the way to this. I don't know what this is, a fuse or something. It's going there. So there is a connection through this part. So that's not too bad. Let me take the memory out. I don't know why I still have... Well, I know why. I was probably optimistically trying to test this many moons ago. Okay, so anyone who's just joining, we have a Quadra 840 AV on the desk today. And let's put these memory modules in their own little drawer so I do not lose them. I'm going to be asking everybody where I put those in about 10 minutes, I'm sure. Or more like 3 hours. Let's not have it be that long. Got some chunky memory modules here. None of them are kind enough to have the size on them directly, which is always fun. 2 of these might be 32 megabytes. I have no idea. You test those. Hey, Charlie. Alright, so let's, I guess we should just get right into it, shouldn't we? Because the more I look at this board, the more I'm going to find reasons not to put caps on it. And, I mean, not that I want to be careless with this board at all, it's the only one I have. But, I very much like the fact of trying to put proper caps on it, trying to clean this up a little bit, and seeing if that helps things. Because that certainly would be nice now, wouldn't it? Alright, so what I'm going to be doing here is just letting my soldering iron warm up for a minute. Let's let's just wait for that to warm up. Anybody have any questions or anything while that is warming up? So, I will talk to you about a few projects I'm working on, I guess. Not to spoil anything or anything like that. We just started, Charlie. We didn't get to soldering anything yet, so we are in the same the same boat as we were last time. In my opinion, UV solder mask, the pad will anchor it. I will do that. Well, the trouble is I need to solder the capacitor to that pad. Wouldn't the UV solder mask cover the pad completely? Not saying you're incorrect or anything, just a question. But what I will do is once I put a capacitor on there, I will. There are a few spots here I do have UV solder mask that I have to put on. Speaking of which, I got it in the mail not too long ago. There we go. There's some UV solder mask. This microscope is literally, you could get them on Amazon for under $20. I don't necessarily recommend them. Is it better than nothing? Yes. Is it perfect? No. It's 640 by 480. It's plastic. It's got a zoom up to 800x, whatever that measurement is supposed to be. Nothing fancy at all. This is really probably the cheapest of the cheapest. And I put this on an arm that's meant for a lamp or a webcam or whatever. And it's sort of clipped on in a weird way, and it kind of works. So, UV mask strips easy. Well, I would do that. Unfortunately, it is dark outside, and I do not have a UV lamp to cure it with. So, unfortunately, that's going to be out of the question for tonight. That is a very good suggestion, though. And I wish I could do that. Unfortunately, I cannot at the moment. And unfortunately, with the world the way things are, this alcohol stuff is in short supply. So we're going to be very careful with what we use here. And the other thing that's in short supply, toilet paper. So using all the consumables up in a way that is not exactly meant to be used up right now. So, yeah. Try a drop of glue under the pad. Well, the pad's not entirely ripped off. It's moved a little bit. I don't want to risk moving that much further. It's actually all the dried on flux sort of makes it a little stable right now. So I'm thinking if I anchor a capacitor on the secure pad, on the secure side of the pad, and then anchor it to the other side, it should be okay for now. I can always go in, desolder that, clean that up later. I'm just very gently brushing this with some alcohol because I want to clean up some of that gunk that was there. Where did my little cotton swabs go? 1 second. There we are. Okay. Just very gently here because I just want to, there's some like dried flux from the last time we were dealing with this board, which was a long time ago. Not that it's going to do much harm, but it's going to be a little sticky in places I don't want it to be sticky, and yeah, you can see it's not exactly the cleanest here, but we're going to do what we can. I'm going to put some caps on, and we're going to cross our fingers. We're going to hope for the best. Okay. Let's hope this doesn't turn into one of those 8-hour streams. I know a few of you are hoping that. Everybody likes those but me. I'm the guy who has to wait up for 8 hours. Okay, alright, so let's move some of this to the side here. Alright, let me just make sure something is turned on. Okay, cool. We got Do Not Disturb turned on, so my phone won't be ringing. Alright, so we have Bruce's guide up here. Now, this website is Bruce's website, Brankus Creations website, recapamac.com.au. And what's great about this website is, of course, it showcases Bruce's skills and his services. I'm putting a link in the chat there. Not only does it, point to his YouTube channel and talk about his recapping service, you could ship a motherboard to him and he'll recap it for you. But what's very handy is this resources tab, and it lists pretty much, and you can't see it on the camera, it lists pretty much every vintage Macintosh model he's touched so far, and he's always adding stuff and tidying things up on here, which is nice. And what's nice is we have the Quadra 840 AV here. So you click on that, and it goes to a lovely page, and that page has a nice, large, and detailed picture of the board. It tells you need 13 47 microfarad 16 volt capacitors and two 10 microfarad 16 volt capacitors. So we have a total of 15 to solder on today. Fun, fun, fun. And we have a little PDF we could download as well, which would be very handy. So definitely recommend you check out that website, especially if you're going to be recapping these machines. It's a great resource, and it's something that you should have bookmarked if you're the type of person who likes to tinker with these things, or maybe just wants to understand, how tricky these things can be. So, is it possible to upgrade my 400 megahertz PowerMac G4 Gigabyte Ethernet CPU to a faster dual processor G4 CPU? It's only the single 400. I'm not sure, Josh. Again, you like to ask a lot of unrelated questions that I just do not have open in my brain at the moment. I know there are some of the single processor 400 megahertz, 450 megahertz AGP towers that you can upgrade to like the dual, 450 or 500 megahertz models. I know some of them can. I don't know the specifics of that. Greg Rucke of Rucke Mods is probably a better person to ask that question, because he's probably done it or knows somebody who has done it. So apologies, I cannot directly answer that question there, Josh, but hopefully you will find the answer you need. But just be aware, if you're updating that to like a dual 450 from a 400, yeah, you're going to see a little bit of a boost, but unless those applications are aware of that second processor, I don't think you're going to see too much of a difference. But who knows? Run some benchmarks. Let us know. You're very welcome, Bruce. Without this, I would be a bit stuck. And I think you didn't have this up last time I was playing around with this, so this is much more helpful here. Okay, yes, Greg from Rucke Mods knows a ton about PowerPC Macs. I'm more of the beige Mac guy here. Not that my knowledge is exclusively with that, but sort of dips off there. So I keep hitting the camera with my damn chair here. Oh, there we go. All right. So, yeah, hello, Nick, and yeah. So let's get things moving here. So let's lay out our capacitors, and let's hope those capacitor fairies that Bruce always has plague his desk do not come and plague mine, because I don't have too many capacitors to spare, to be honest. So we need two of these 10 microfarad 16 volt caps. So we're going to remove two of those from the little tape here. I'll put those to the side. I like a lot of computers. I have a lot of classic Macs. I have a lot of PowerPC Macs. I have some Intel Macs even. I have a Commodore. I have a few Atari 8-bit machines that are in various states of disrepair that I'm trying to fix up. I even have a few PCs, not a lot of them, but a few. So, yeah. Windows. Just trying to see if Jay's still awake there. And, alright, so we need 13 of these capacitors here. I just have a lot of everything. Well, I've been collecting and obsessing over computers for the past too long. And so, yeah, there's a lot of them that I still have. Some of them I've given away and regret, but I still have a lot. Too many, as some would say. Alright, so just getting these capacitors out of the little tape here. You made a channel, Classy Mac. Is that the same channel you're posting a comment from currently? Okay, we got 10. We need 3 more. I was using a lot of these caps. This better work, or I'm going to have to desolder all these from the board to get my value back. Alright, Dana is reacting for Jay. So Jay must be walking around outside in the wilderness All right. Sorry about that. We're running a bit low. Trina, I think that is an excellent guess. I started out with 150 of these. We do not have 150 in the bag right now. So, we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. All right. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Where is my solder? Here it is. The big... Oh, that's sort of stuck there. The big heaping 1 pound here. And that's right, I usually have my little fan plugged in to get all the bad fumes away from my mouth area. You don't want to be breathing this stuff in. And I think I've been used up all the USB ports here. So I have to turn on this monitor to the left of me and snag a USB port from that. Thankfully, it's one of these older Dell ones and it has a little hub in it. People are always like, why do you use Dell monitors? Why? I mean, whatever works, works. I'm not partial. And these monitors actually aren't bad. I've probably said this too many times, but these two here have pretty much any connection I could ask for. DVI, VGA, composite. This one has S-Video. And I think this is the same, except this has component instead of composite. So these models are definitely, probably not the best out there, but you know what? These are both thrifted, they work, and of course now this one, there we go. And yeah, that's doing what I need to do. Display an image. And if it does that, I'm happy. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's get things a little sorted here. I'm gonna probably switch the camera around as we get going here, but hey Mike! Welcome to the party. We're just getting started. We didn't put a drip of solder on here yet, but you can see we have a very sad little pad on our Quadra 840 AV. So we're going to be extra gentle here. Oh, as I say that, I move the pad a little bit. We're going to be extra gentle. Eep! And I guess we'll do that one first because it's going to be the most painful one. So, yeah, this is, no, probably a very bad one to start on. Oh boy. Alright, so let's make sure our soldering iron is nice and hot and our tip is shiny. Yes, it is. Okay, and I breathed that right in. That fan is not doing its job. I didn't put it in the right way. Toss it and buy a new one. I want to see this going very badly very quick. Oh, thank you, Mike. I can always appreciate your very kind comments because I know you want this machine. That's exactly why you're saying that. Oh boy. All right, let's point this down so you could have dual view of me screwing this up here. So what I'm going to do is first off, I just noticed the tip of this flux syringe is horrid. Has hair and junk all over it because this flux is very sticky, and the syringe part where it comes out of likes to get sticky and just when it dries and everything gets stuck to it. So we need to clean that off if we're actually going to be using this correctly. Okay, cool. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, this pad is very delicate. I'm just trying to think out here. So I'm going to put a bit of flux on those pads, and I'm going to gently put one of these capacitors on there, and we're going to go very slowly, and we're going to see if that works, because I hope it does. Alright, so where's my little thing that goes in here? Little, there it is. It's clear, so it's hard to see. Ooh! Dana, that's awful. My condolences. Ouch. Alright, so once you start pushing this flux, it just keeps coming, so I'm going to might as well cover these multiple pads at the same time. Hopefully that's actually going to come out there. There we go. Sort of has a mind of its own. as you can see. All right, we could do better than that. Come on. There we go. And as I said, it's just going to keep coming out, so I'm just going to go to the next capacitor and just let it do what it does. Because there's quite a lot we have to do. We have to do, what I say, 15? So, yeah. Okay. Hello, Scarlet Swordfish. We were just talking about your laser writer not too long ago. All good things, of course. Alright, so, yeah, let's cross our fingers here. And, you know, I'm going to actually have to turn this board so I can get a better view of things, because I'm going to be the one slaving over this board for a while. I want to make sure, yes, I want to make sure you guys can see things, but I also want to make sure that I'm not going to butcher this up just because I'm trying to get a weird angle here. Okay, I've taken the watch off so I don't break it. And, yep. Cable company monopolies, man. What are you gonna do? What you gonna do? Alright. So, yeah, I'm going to try and get one side of this capacitor happy here. Let's not burn our desk. Let's burn the piece of wood that we could replace that's on top of our desk. And I'm just going to take one of these with the tweezers here. And, there we go. Oh boy, this has been a while. This has been a while. I'm probably forgetting a step. Bruce is yelling at the stream right now. What the hell are you doing? That's a horrible Bruce impression. I wasn't even trying, but there's way too much solder on this tip. But let's try this here. Ah, that smell. I did not miss that smell. Gigabit local talk. Now that's something. Well, that's something I'd be happy to participate in. Gigabit local talk. Alright, that looks like it is actually fairly secure. I am pretty pleased with how that came out. But let's try and get the other one here. Probably a little too much solder on there, but you know what? If it's going to hold that down, then that's going to be a good thing. Gently nudged it there just to make sure. There's no problems with that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. All right, let's get more solder on our iron here. Just clean that up a little bit. So how are you guys doing tonight? Hope you are doing well. Hope you are having a good middle of the week there. As best you can. Oop. That would help if I were using the iron in the proper orientation here to get the tip there. Well, we need more flux. We need much more flux. More flux. Lousy. Yeah, me too. That's why my live streams have been few and far between. I have been working my butt off, and I've been working on some scripted videos that I'm trying to wrap up. But you know, the live stream stuff, the live streaming is just it's addictive because it's instant gratification. You do the video live, and it goes up, and bam, you're done with it. Whereas the scripted stuff, yes, you could do a lot more cool stuff. You could tell a better story. You could script things and have better effects and shots and make sure things work right the first time you show it. But, yeah. So, I will be having some cool content, hopefully, available to you guys in the near future. So I'll be excited to show that when that comes out. Yeah, so let's try and hold this steady. Well, that didn't go at all, did it? Maybe I have to look at some of these pads again. I just assumed I did a good job last time, but you know what? I may not have. And that's okay. The future equals next year. Thanks, Mike. Your confidence in me is very, very much appreciated. That is not really secure there. It's wobbling, unfortunately. You know what? Let me. Yeah, you know what? I'm with Dana on that. The whole world just feels like it's on pause right now, and me especially am having my good days and my bad days. So trying just to make it to the next day and see what happens after that. Caught fire. My goodness. Do I even want to know what happened to that poor PowerBook to make it catch fire? Do you even know? I mean, if it caught fire, that could have been a number of reasons why. But my goodness, that's scary. Alright, that is much more secure than it was before. Alright, let's go to the next one in line here. Next. Put a larger hard drive in it. Well, I don't necessarily think that was the problem, but hey, you mess around with old electronics, there's always the risk factor of anything goes. And who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? It's really hard to get to because this is right. Yeah, these pads need a little freshening up here. Just a little bit. That explains why that's too much. Let's see. Replacement screen for a G3 Wall Street. I have a cracked screen. You know, it used to be years ago that stuff was dirt cheap. You get brand new screens for 15, 20, maybe 30 bucks on eBay. Tops. Some will come with the bezels and everything. Unfortunately, I think the supply for those have dried up. Well, thank you, Trina. I am certainly not the having the worst of it. I am not in any shape of my imagination saying I have it the worst. Obviously, I am very fortunate to have a roof over my head. I am very fortunate to have food in my belly, and a great amount of friends and family to be there for me. Others are unfortunately not as lucky in these times. So, yeah. Okay, that will do, I guess. You were dumb and tossed the whole thing. Don't worry, we've all done that before. We've all regretted tossing something. Okay, good. Thank you, Dana, for confirming that you're still awake there. Dana's like, what are you kidding? I'm not tossing anything. I trade some things, but I get better things in return. Yes, Dana is the one here, Londo's hair, his name is Dana, who has a very lovely... why am I getting another capacitor? Oh, duh, I just put it in. Has a very, very lovely Apple network server. An ANS. Say that fast. Which I am very envious of, and I know a lot of us are. But it is in very good hands. And I will hope that Dana graces us with a video of his ANS at one point. Because that would be lovely to see in action. I've only seen pictures, really. Someone on YouTube recently did a video, but it wasn't Dana. So, I have not seen it yet. I would love to check it out. There will be a video. Yes. Alright, we are off to hopefully a good start here. So, you know what? Let me put on those two tiny capacitors here before I mess those up and put them where they're not supposed to go. So those are supposed to go right, well, you can't see, but it's supposed to go right, here and here. And we're going to clean up those spots a little bit. Yeah. Alright, so let's move this around a little bit, and again, get this into a good position where I could work with it. And as a bonus, you guys can see what I'm doing as well. So for those of you who are just joining, we are attempting to recap this Quadra 840 AV. And while I am very optimistic as usual, I also realize that this machine has not worked for a long time. And with all the traces and good stuff on this board, it is very likely that there are some trace issues here that I just do not see. And it's not the first time I'm looking at this board, but we're going to try and put some fresh caps on it anyway. The last time I tried to put caps on it, I was very uneducated about the process, and who knows. So, alright, let's get this in a good spot here. Eep! Oh my goodness! Mike's Mac Shack. Thank you very much, Mike. $5 and that type of super chat will get you another processor. I guarantee it. You come over here, you take that little special computer I'm holding on for you there, buddy, and I will give you the processor as well. But eep! Thank you very much, Mike and Mike's Mac Shack. Mike has actually been very, very busy, busier than I have, producing videos. Everybody who has not been subscribed to Mike's Mac Shack, click on his little icon or his avatar or the three dots, whatever you got to do there. He's actually been doing some really cool stuff there. He's been supercharging his iMac G5 that he has, and he's been doing some pretty neat mods and things like that. Well, not mods, but upgrades and such. So, highly recommend you check out his channel. There's probably a way you can just jump right to his channel. But I think it's clicking on the icon of the three buttons. But hey, his Quicksilver is still running. Sweet. I will... We'll try and do a long-distance Apple Talk between our Quicksilvers. How about that? See if we can get that working. That would be fun. That would be fun. Yes, click on Mike's Mac Shack, the name there. That should bring you to the channel, and just hit that little subscribe button. Make sure that that you show him some love, please. He's a good friend of mine. And, ooh, we got some little green bits on... the side of this connector here, right there. Right there. Just a little bit of green. A little bit of scunge, maybe? Probably pronouncing that wrong, and Bruce is like, you idiot! I am very, very lightly touching this up with some alcohol here. scunge and not pushing very hard. If you push hard, you are going to potentially damage the pads or rip them straight off the board. You do not want to do that. You're going to have a bad time if you do. Give yourself a lot of extra work. The same thing if I was holding a soldering iron tip right now and trying to do this. Very, very light. Even though it may not look like I'm doing something light, trust me, being very careful. Perfect pronunciation, Steve. Thank you, Bruce. All right. I think Josh's keyboard is stuck on Power Mac84 mode. And that's all he's able to talk about. It's a very serious disease. You know, I've had it done before. And it hurts. It hurts. Very, very much hurts. You need to practice your Australian accent. I do a pretty good Yogi Bear. Hey, hey. No, I don't. You kids don't even know what this bear represents. All right. Well, where are you registered, Josh? Very, very dumb joke. I only got one accent. He's right over here. I'll probably be using the wick, but I'm just trying to clean these things off. Just hovering my soldering iron over this very lightly, very, very lightly. Just trying to get off any horrible goop that has been sitting on there for years and years and years. Ah, man, those old cartoons, I love them. Those old Looney Tunes, got a whole stack of them on Laserdisc. Love it. They're actually doing some new ones. I am the type of person who really does not judge things by a trailer, because I realize how the marketing world works. You're going to get your sound bites and your CEO approved taglines and all this stuff into trailers, you know, and all that garbage. And you know, the actual thing for the trailer, the actual content that the trailer is promoting, might be completely different. But there is a new set of Looney Tunes that are coming out on HBO Max. At least it's here in the US called HBO Max. It's a HBO exclusive extra streaming service you got to pay for or whatever. And I think they're just called Looney Tunes Cartoons. And I saw the trailer for it yesterday or something like that. I thought there were some moments that genuinely made me laugh. And maybe reminded me of the classic cartoons from the 40s and 50s. I have no idea if they will even come close to, you know, reaching that unreachable goal of being as good and as silly and as zany as and wacky as insane as those shorts were. But it is much better as an attempt than any, I would assume, especially when you compare it to the other recent attempts that have sort of failed miserably. Not all of them have been bad. Honestly, I don't have a subscription to cable television, so I don't really watch too much stuff, but I like myself some cartoons, and I would be happy to sit down and watch some and laugh myself silly. So, yes, Wile E. Coyote. Oh man, I have a Laserdisc full of it, and probably a few VHS tapes as well. And good stuff. It's very sad that a lot of those DVDs that Warner Brothers came out with recently, or those Blu-rays, they just stopped. I'm like, well, we ran out of our budget. How do you run out of a budget for preserving something that is going to be disintegrated before you know it? So, unfortunately, you know, these things don't sell enough or whatever. They don't release more of them. But that's why you hold on to archaic, dead formats. All right, let me just move the microscope up so I could actually reach under here with my soldering iron. Come on, there we go. We gotta manually dial it in. So that might be the best we're gonna get at this point. But well, this will be fairly quick, hopefully. Just got one of the little tiny ones here. This is gonna be a bit of a pain. Whoops, because these caps are like exactly the width of where the pads are. So Ah, jeez. Yeah, I think I got that one. I'm not really happy with the exact placement, but yeah, that's going to be a tricky one. Let's get the other one on the other side here. It is not getting there at all. How about that? I know you can't probably see this one. It's probably better off, honestly. Because, oh, come on, then. Did you actually catch on both sides, somehow? I don't want to rip this pad off or anything. What's funny is this is probably making perfect contact on both sides, but it's hard for me to actually see if it is. Hold on, let me just try and adjust this a little bit. Ah, shoot. I was putting pressure on the cap and it sort of lopsided there. Let's hope it did not rip anything off there, did it? No, it did not. Goodness. Jeez. Alright, let's try that again. Let's do that. Let's just, there we go. Doesn't hurt to have some little solder on there. All right, let's hope this goes a bit better. So I want to do this side first. This tip of this iron is not the best size for this, but I'm going to try. Okay, that's sunk down, so it actually looks like it's making contact there, hopefully. Let's try this side here. Alright, that's not the prettiest job I've ever done, but I think it is actually making contact on both sides. And like I said, these caps are very difficult, at least for me to do, because the pads, you could actually almost see it here. The pad is like right there and right there, so you have to put these like in a very, very peculiar, specific, whatever word I'm searching for, position, just to get it to sit on there right. And I'm not the best at doing that. I well, you know, freely admit that. But hopefully that is good enough. And thankfully those are the only two we had to do on this board of the small ones there. So the rest should hopefully be a little bit easier to do. Just trying to clean up some of that gunk there. And the trash can, where's the trash can? Oh boy. It's all the way over here. And it is caked with trash. Caked! Playing to the audience here. Caked with trash. Put that over there so we can throw things out easily. Alright, so let's just catch everybody up here. Let's go back to the main camera here. And what I'm just going to show you is what we've done so far. So this is our Quadra 840 AV board. What we've done is put 4 new capacitors right by the power socket here. And we put 2 over here by the SCSI controller. So that is the progress we have made so far. And what is next? What is next indeed? We have 4 more to go to the left of the memory slots. We have 2 more by the processor, and then we have 1 by the NUBA slots. So we have our work cut out for us here. But we're just gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna try and power through this. I do see some areas that I want to take a closer look at with the microscope here, because I have not looked at this board in a long time. Yeah, so C, what is that? I can't even read that. C 59. It looks like. Ooh, is that? Hopefully that's it's just dirt and nothing too bad. It's covering that up. Ugh. Yuck, 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 yuck. Let's clean that up a little bit. So we are trying to revive this Quadra 840AV here, this Macintosh, and it's the only one I have. Otherwise, I would be making comparison measurements and stuff on a working one, making sure that this trace leads to here and whatnot. I do have there's some gunk that's lifting off this board, so it's probably helpful to get that off anyway. There are some schematics that are not entirely easy to get, but I have procured them, and they help a little bit, but it's not exactly like all of a sudden it makes your job 1,000 times easier. Yes, it allows you to read some things. There's a learning curve to it as well, and it allows you to understand where some things are connecting, but some of the stuff is inaccurate, or some of the stuff is questionable, so who knows. Now I do see some scunge here. Look at that right there. There's some green goodness there that we do not like to see. I am going to try and let's try and clean that a little bit. This is not going to do much for it here, but just see. I'm probably going to get the little scalpel here. Probably doesn't help our situation here that we have some of that yuck, and it was not too far away from this capacitor, which is unfortunate, because if something got on there just from that capacitor, that would be bad. But it might have been, who knows, maybe moisture was in here or what. I am trying to remember the where this machine spent most of its life, and I believe it was not even in the garage. I believe it was indoors. But you know what? I guess anything is possible. So we just got to be prepared. How about that? Okay, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to put some flux on these pads. Well, you know what? Before I do that, let me get out. All right, Trina, no worries. Yes, green badness. Let's get out the beepy beep beep here. I'm stealing that from Bruce because it is hilarious, and I'm just making sure that these pads are touching and making contact with the little points that are next to them. That one is. Ooh, this one may be problematic here. Let's see if we can get a better, closer view on this, because you can never have enough flux. I will agree with you on that. Let me just zoom in this screen here, because this screen is a little bit away from me here. So the further I zoom in, the further I zoom down. It's much better than my eyes are, even though this microscope is not the best. And the little stand for the microscope is sort of collapsing and falling out from under it, which is not good. Yeah, that looks pretty bad. Let's get our little scalpel here as I drop something in the background here. Let's be very careful, but it's very hard because this board is brown. Now let me just use one of these Q-tips here. Yeah, I just Dana, good thinking there. I was just like, wait a second. Let's not let another pad come off of this machine here. thankfully that if I think I see where it actually is going, that trace is pretty large there. Oops, sorry. So if I needed to, oh, I think I lost my other window here. Sorry about that. Hold on. Oh, wrong guy. Oh, where the heck did it go? Well, we were using All right, hold on. Hold on. Let's scale this down here. You don't need to see me that big, but I want to do a picture-in-picture here. Oh, still too big. Sorry. Hold on. Hold, please. Here we go. We're doing it live. All right, cool. Yeah, these traces are very tiny and fragile, as Dana is pointing out here. So I just want to try and see if any of this... I am not pushing down hard. I'm being gentle, but it's so squeaky here, it's just making some squeaky noises. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm making too much progress with the alcohol here, so I may have to... Well, let me test this again. Where did my beeping go? Here we go. Here's my beeping device. And so it should go from this pad. Alright, so that is making a connection. I am not particularly happy with the way that looks. But at this point, because we are in a very unknown state with this machine, I am not going to spend an abundance of time on these little areas where it could very well be something else that's causing this machine not to even turn on or anything. So that is something that I'm going to make myself aware of. That is capacitor number 2. And yes, there is some gunk under that trace, it looks like. Just stubborn scunge. And you know what? I am going to very gently see if I could just see. Yeah, it's very difficult to see exactly what's there, but it does almost look like it's under that trace. But it is making contact. That should be okay enough for what we have to do, I guess. So I'm gonna test it one more time to make sure I didn't make it worse or anything like that. And we'll go from there. See, that's okay. This is this is the problem we were getting. That should not be beeping. I'm assuming that. Now, I do not have another board, unfortunately, to test with. But all of these caps are, like, beeping at each other. All of them have continuity to pretty much everything. Now, it could be that this trace is so rotted it's touching something internally, which I can't even see. That is a very, very strong possibility. I just have no idea. Or exactly. Or Bruce is right. Maybe that's just the way this is supposed to go. It's supposed to go beepity beep beep. It's supposed to have continuity there, and these capacitors are supposed to make it not do that. So you know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to just continue here and hope for the best. That's all we can do. All right, so let's turn this board around and let's stop our yakking and resume our recapping. Huh? All right. Rackin' frackin' varmint. All right, so let's... can you scrub the gunk away above that little square component? Let's go back. Boop. Which one were you referring to, kind sir? Oh no! That is horrible. I just placed my finger on this cap and it moved. So obviously... Shoot. That, you know what? That probably just destroyed the trace that was there. Let's try and get that off of there. Dang it. Yep, there goes that trace. Shoot. Well, that is very, very unfortunate. Just try something here. I'm just trying to... want to get a better look at this trace here, because yes, it is jumper wire time, because oh boy, where are we here? I can't even see anymore. It's very tiny. Yeah, there's a goopy mess there. And you could see that. Hello, David. Congratulations on the 50 subscribers. I know you've been waiting on that for a bit, so congrats, sir. Everybody who has not subscribed to David's channel, feel free to click on his little name there and subscribe. He's doing a giveaway of a very cool Yeti microphone. And oh, 55 now, nice. Yeah, that pad has definitely moved, and I can't even tell where. I'm hoping it was just the line right next to it. I can't even tell where that was supposed to go at this point. Let me reset this up here. Ugh. Oh boy, this is. I should have expected this, but all right. Let's try and focus this so I could get a better understanding of what the heck is going on here. And again, the reflection. There's a little light on here that's not helping. Yeah, that is nasty. And I will do everything in my power. Ah, very nice. You're getting even more subs now, David. I will do everything in my power to try and fix this, but I only have so much skills here and vision. So, oh, that is horrible. I can almost see it better with my eyes than I can with the camera. The thing is, it's reflecting all the light I have around me. So if I do this, that still doesn't help, actually. Yeah. Yes, I did. I sucked up some of the flux there, but I will do that more, because obviously there's still a lot on that board. But that flux is reflecting off the light. Of course, there's a lot of gunk in here. So let me. I just. And of course, there's so much gunk here that is prohibiting me probably from getting a better view in this, but I also don't want to push too hard and just swipe it away there. So actually, if I shadow it, I can sort of see, you just see how crummy this microscope, if you could even call it that, is. How crummy it is. And you know what, let me, if it's broken anyway. See, it's not even moving, really. It's just the heat of it. The heat of it sort of swung it in this direction, I believe. Now let's get out our beepity beep beep. Again, these pads kind of like to mess around and are, connected to each other. So let's see if we can find out where this one was supposed to go. If it's still making contact. Okay, so it is still making contact miraculously. This pad is actually going where it's supposed to go. Luckily. Ken, we are working on a Quadra 840 AV. A very desirable Macintosh, which I'm very much trying not to screw up here. I think what I have to do is, unfortunately, heat this pad up just a little bit. Where am I gonna... So if this pad is actually attached to this line here, which it looks like it's like hanging on by a thread, and it's supposed to go here, I may be able to scrape away this and put a wire that goes from here to here. The key word is may. I don't know if I have the skills to actually do that. And alright, so it's I'm just trying to sort of pivot this back into place here. Okay, I think that's the best I'm going to get. It is still connected. Now, the problem is, do I risk putting the capacitor right back on there? Or do I take the time and put a jumper wire on it? You know what I may do? I may skip this one just for now, continue with the rest, and come back to this one. Just because if this is going to require more time, I don't want to rush it. Solder the cap to the good pad for stability, and then solder to the wonky pad. That is very good advice, Bruce. I did that on the other one. It seemed okay. The problem is this cap is so tiny. But you know what? I will. I only capped it from the other side. This was the anchor, so maybe that's why it gave way. But yeah, if honestly, if this board has any signs of life in it, the next thing I'm gonna have to do is put a bunch of UV solder mask all over this stuff and clean up a lot of these areas. But we're just trying to see if we get any signs of life out of it. So I'm gonna follow Bruce's suggestion here, and I am going to put this cap back on, anchor it to the other side first. I don't think the pad is good anymore. Because I looked at it, because I touched it. That's great. We're off to a good start here, aren't we? An hour in and we're already, making pads go all over the place. Let's just try it again here. Yeah, it's actually still making a connection there, so you know what? Let's try it and see where it brings us. I mean, ow. Worst case, we screw it up. You missed me screwing up a poor pad here, which this silly capacitor is so tiny, it's going to be a miracle if I ever get this thing back on. There's just way too much solder there. Hold on. Okay. Oh, and of course I was off. It was off the whole time. Hold on. I need to get my eyes closer to this, so my apologies. 1 second, and then you'll see the aftermath. Okay, hopefully, let's get the camera back over there. Again, this tripod isn't the best there. It looks ugly, but hopefully It really looks ugly when it's out of focus and has flux all over. Again, this camera is manually focused. There's a little knob I'm touching, and of course when I touch it and I release it, the tripod sinks a little bit. So let's test our continuity here. Hey, it still works. That is good. So let's not look at that one anymore. Let's not touch it. Let's not breathe on it. Alright, we will not touch that area of the board, no matter what. No matter what we want to do. Alright, we're on to bigger and better capacitors now, hopefully. And where did I used to have some old MacBook batteries that were dead, that were weighing down this side of the tripod there. And you know what? This floppy drive will do. We're just gonna put that over here. There. Good old floppy drive to weigh things down. There. That should help us a little bit there. Much better. Yeah, well, I am not the most professional individual. I'm not the most talented person when it comes to this stuff. But I really do care about these machines. I am not one of these people who's going to be like, well, damn it, I want it to work, and I want it to work now, and start breaking things. So we're going to be very careful, even if it looks like we're not. I am doing the best I can. So, all right, so we're off to the next one here. Dust shield on that floppy. Yes, there's a. Sorry, my wheel of the chair keeps hitting this camera tripod here. Let me adjust this so that doesn't happen anymore. Let's point it down, because you don't want to see me. You want to see. There we go. You want to see this board. Yes, that is. I forget what that is from a Macintosh 2, I believe. I'll never tell. All right, so let's clean up some of these. What I'm going to do is just put a little bit of flux on these pads here. Again, I don't recall what I did last time, and anything I did last time is probably worth doing again at this point, just to make sure that there's no crud on these pads. They're nice and clean. When I put the fresh solder on, and I put fresh capacitors on there. So let's do that. Hey, Greg, thank you. Eep! I feel like crap. Here's some money. Hi, Steve. Well, Greg, I am very sorry that you feel like crap. I hope that things get better for you, and I hope that me looking at this beautiful, sexy Quadra 840 AV logic board, and hopefully we'll get it up and running. And if I do, I will thank each and every one of you, and I'll probably dance around like an idiot. But yes, it cheer up by watching me burn myself, stab myself, and accidentally get my finger caught under one of these memory sockets or something silly like that. All right, enough chatter. Let's do what I was doing a few minutes ago. All right, so let's just make sure that these pads are clean. Just very, very lightly making sure any of the gunk that was living on here previously is pushed off. And we're really just hovering over it. We're not actually touching the pads with the iron, because that could be a little too hot. And we don't need anything else to encourage these pads to fall off here, now do we? And I'll have to use some wick to get these all clean too. Wick, desoldering braid, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Good night, Ken. Thank you for sticking around. Oh my goodness, it's late already. It's a little bit past 11 where I am here. All right, well, let's, where's my desoldering braid? Where did it go? Here it is. Ooh, we got a lot of that is used up. Let's clip the used portion of that. This will be a giveaway. I'll mail this out to the lucky. No, we're not. That's garbage. We're putting that in the trash there. All right. Let's get. This could be very dangerous, but ooh, yeah. Look at all that yucky. All right. I think that looks. It's not as. It's a little shinier. Again, the angle and the color of this makes everything look horrible. So just have to believe me a little bit here when I say it looks better than it does on camera. Okay, and it's a little. What is that? It's just a little dot of solder that got stuck there. Okay, yes, it's better looking than it is. And it tastes delicious, too. No, it doesn't. Alright, so let's put some more flux in that area to hold down the cap that we're going to be putting there. And to help everything flow correctly. I have to order some more of this flux sooner or later. Not right now. I have plenty right now. But alright, so we're going to put our, I say little, but this is the, the larger caps there. And let's hope this works. That seemed to go on pretty well. There was like no space for me to get in here. I just realized I should have done that side first. And then sort of sneak on this side. Shoot. I guess I could still do that. Hold, please. Ugh. So I hate doing this in such close quarters here. Oh, I almost touched the iron. That would have been fun. Pro tip, do not touch the iron. Do not touch the tip of the iron. Especially when you're doing it left-handed and you're not as agile. Well, this is going to be a pain in the butt. Don't look, Bruce. I need the heat gun for this just to sort of rest it into place because this is right next to a lot of stuff here. I don't necessarily know what that component is next to, and I don't want to necessarily kill it. It's going to look ugly, but let's see. If I could get the other side and then sort of even it out there. This is horrible. Now let me try our friend the heat gun here. Yeah, a finer tip may be working here, but Now I'm just going to try and... that's going to cook that capacitor. But, hold on. I think that has a pretty high rating anyway. I'm probably not supposed to be breathing in as much of this as I am, but... just trying to get some of that out of there. Alright, so I got it off. It is toasty, of course. But I don't think I'm really going to hurt it. So what I'm going to do is going to put some flux down there. I'm going to make sure there's solder there. And this is going to look horrible, but you know what? Well, my flux went away. And we're just going to hope this will... work. That capacitor looks like it's gone through a world war. And it is very much toasted. But you know what? It ain't moving. Could I have done that better? Well, maybe. I don't know. But I do not see that budging. So I am satisfied with that, even if it looks like crap. Alright, so hopefully that's the last of the capacitors that's in a very precarious area like that, because that was not fun. Was not fun. Yeah, that that cap. Look, if this works, if this works, we're gonna have some serious retracing our steps here to clean up some stuff. This is certainly not going to be the last of the... why can't I just... there we go. This certainly won't be the last of the cleanup or anything. Bruce, why are you making sense? Why should I... the positive stripe is going... yes, it is. It is. The stripe is very dark, but I assure you it is pointed towards the positive end there. And I'm just going to test the beepity beep beep. And of course, with the cap there, it still goes beep, which is you know what? The continuity on that cap from both sides and beep is, you know, who knows? Maybe the solder pads underneath are touching, or it's just a piece of. Anyway, who knows? Maybe that's normal for this board because, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But again, I do not have. Unfortunately, I do not have another one to reference here. So we're gonna sort of be stuck with what we got here. Bruce is like, I'm going to give a thumbs up, but I'm going to cover my eyes. I didn't see what he did. I don't approve of what he did. Alright, that one's pretty good. Alright, the next one here, we're getting towards the middle of the board here. And the polarity on this one is the opposite of the others. Ah. When in doubt, add more flux. First time was not nearly enough solder on that. Try and straighten that out. Come on. Well, hopefully that's good enough. Okay, that seems to be secure. And I don't even know how long we've been going for. An hour and 42 minutes. Holy moly. Alright, we got a few more to go here. We have at least 1, 2, 3, much more than that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 6 more to go. Alright, so let me turn this board around here. Or 4 more, actually. Yeah, I'll double check the count in a minute and just let's just keep it up. Keep up the pace here. Keep up the pace. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? Number 76. Only feels like about 15 minutes. Well, that's actually good. You know, when no one's like, oh my gosh. I mean, you guys might be, but you're so gracious enough not to tell me. Alright, positive goes to the left there, so we got our little boop. There, perfect, that's all. Wouldn't that be the day? And it's just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna put the capacitor there, and a little machine will come and do the work for me and go boop boop, all done. By the way, I fixed all those bad traces that were invisible to your naked eye, your human eye there. Oh, I'm touching the battery connector with the iron. That's okay. Very good. That one's see, when they cooperate, they could be very, very easy to do. When they don't cooperate, you want to rip out your remaining hair and try and get it to work. Alright, C75 here. Let me clean that up a little bit. Some of these, again. Yes, 15 minutes of quarantine time. You know, thankfully for those of you who who are a new subscriber, you haven't seen some of the previous live streams. Well, there's no shortage of live stream content there. If you want to go ahead and go back in time and look at some of those. Not all of them are the best. We have some doozies there, but you know what? They are. I actually, honestly, I actually find myself going through and looking at some of them once in a while and just, was that the one where I did this, or wait, did I do that machine already, etc. You know, just because I don't remember everything. I'm doing so many of these streams. Hard for even me to remember every single Mac I've done so far. I am just trying to. I'm an idiot, and I need to put more flux on here. I'm just trying to tidy up an area before I put the cap on there. 1 second, please. Okay, and this area, just try and, there we go. I have to move the camera away again 1 second. Have to probably use the wick there a little bit, unfortunately. Looks like last time. Oh yeah, that's here. This is one of the pads that got messed up last time. Was where are we? Right, nope, too far. Right there, and it's not too bad. It's right next to it. It was just a little wobbly, and ooh, that doesn't look too bad. Not too good either. Ugh. Anyway, all right. Let's. You need to do a part 2 of the cell phone stream. Oh my goodness! Don't remind me. You know, there's photos I need to. Well, I would like to get some photos off that thing. I don't even know if it's possible at this point. That OS and that partition are probably bricked beyond repair, and I don't know what more I could do to other than. I guess the next step were to be to buy a memory chip reader and solder the chip or socket the chip onto that and try that, but I don't know. All right. Oh shoot! Wasn't there something on the bottom of this board too? Yes. The black tape does not lie. I think there was something wrong with the bottom of this. Awesome. Anyway. It's getting better. All right, let's just try and put some caps on here, and we will be blissfully unaware of what we don't know. Okay. And for those of you who are not familiar with what Trina is mentioning, where have you been? But I did a live stream not too long ago trying to recover data off of a relative's Android cell phone. Needless to say, there was a lot of frustration and time spent messing around with that. Not a whole lot of success. But you know what? We tried. We definitely tried. I'm going to tilt this, and maybe you can still see that, kind of. Come on. I lost it now, didn't I? There it is. Is that a weird angle here? See, some of them just go on almost perfectly. Just a little tap, a little solder, and boom. Worked good. Alright, so next one here, the positive stripe goes that way. again, for those of you who are maybe just joining in or you fell asleep or whatever, this is a Quadra 840 AV. And we're trying to put some fresh caps on here in an attempt. Move some of this over. Sorry, in an attempt to get this machine working again. So that is what we're doing here. We are a good way through of our recapping process here. Have any of you ever used a Quadra 840 AV? Or a similar Macintosh of this vintage? If you have, do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite Quadra? Do you have a favorite Performa? Do you have a favorite Power Mac? Do you have a favorite? Do you like a Macs at all? Or do you think they're dumb? Could use a bit more solder on that. Just being extra careful with this one because this one had a wobbly trace there. Never used a Quadra. I hate Macs. No, the beige ones were before my time. Amiga 4000. Oh, nice, nice. I don't have an Amiga. I know there's a very good following behind them. They're very nice, and I wouldn't nearly be opposed or anything to get one. I think they would be quite fun to play around with. I just don't have one at the moment, and I tried to get one from a recycler. They knew exactly what it was, and they were like, ha, ha, ha. No, we want a few $100s for this. And I'm like, whoop, good luck with that. Out of my price range. Ah, the G4 Cube. Great little machine. Too bad it failed. And there was the anniversary of the release of the Cube or something like that not too long ago. And everybody and their mother was making G4 Cube videos. I almost did. I almost dropped everything I was doing to make one. Because a lot of people were like, oh, it failed because it was dumb and Apple's stupid and blah, blah, blah. No. You want to know why it failed. There are two big reasons. Two big reasons why it failed. And yes, it was expensive, but I would argue that was not the primary reason why it failed. Just trying to get some of this goop in here. I would argue, and this is just purely my opinion, the reason that it failed was its lack of expandability via a PCI card slot. Because you have to remember, those Power Macs, every single Power Mac that came before it, had an expansion slot that was beside itself, or separate rather, than the graphics card. So the G4 Cube only had one AGP port, which was only for the graphics card. There was no expandability. Sure, you had USB 1.0 when you had FireWire 400, but for those of you who need to use a SCSI scanner, or you need to connect to a high-speed SCSI disk array or something like that, that Power Mac was not a Power Mac. It was like a Mac Mini. It was not enough of what you needed. And it's not a bad machine. I mean, they're really cool, but if I was going to spend a lot of money on a brand new Mac, I wouldn't do it on a G4 Cube. I would have done it on one of the towers that they had, because the towers had all the expandability that somebody would need. Don't get me wrong, that G4 Cube looks really, really cool, but yeah. Alright, so we are on to our next cap here, which we are trying to find. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There we go. There we go. And our fingers, I can't even speak. Our fingers are sticky from Flex, but we are going to try and clean this up as best we can. Oh, we have 10 likes on our video. That's very cool. If you are enjoying this crazy madness, I would appreciate a like, an interaction, a thumbs up, as some would say. Be very much appreciated if you are enjoying these types of videos. And I know most of you are subscribed already, so I don't have to ask you to subscribe, but I enjoy this stuff, and I hope you are enjoying it too. Those of you who are awake at this, at least in the East Coast here, this evening. There's some scunge here. I am just gently poking this here. Yeah, just some gunk there. Bleh. Yuck, 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 yuck. Jay did a cool video recently that I'd like to point out, and I'll probably have to do it on my Mac Pro at some point or another. And it was repasting, I believe, the North Bridge on a Mac Pro. Was it 4,1? 5,1? One of those. You feel free to put the link into the video in the chat there, Jay, if you want. Really cool stuff, and very delicate work, but it has to be done. If you get these machines secondhand, it could be caked with old paste or cream or whatever you want to call it that goes between your processor and your heatsink there. And a lot of people, they'll repaste the CPUs. They forget about the North Bridge. They forget about that. It has its own CPU heatsink on there, and it gets a bit toasty. So, G4 Cube costs more than the base tower. Clock just 50 megahertz lower. You are correct, Greg. So yeah, besides price, I mean, why would you pay for something more that didn't do as much? And yes, we all get that it looked cool, but if I was a boss and somebody came to me and said, we need a new Power Mac, I'm going to say, well, get me the one that's going to last the longest. I don't want to have to buy another one of these. I'm just going to get some of this gunk off of here, just very carefully. I had to wash most of the solder off anyway, so. Yeah, I would say get me the one that has the most expandability, that I'm not going to have to buy a new one anytime soon. And that would have not been the G4 Cube, because the G4 Cube did not have that expandability. So you could add memory, you could add an airport card, you could upgrade the graphics card if you didn't want to, if you really wanted to try and overheat your machine. But yeah. Alright, so that looks a little bit good there. So we're going to put our capacitor right there. I think this might be one of the final two to go on. I'll have to do another count because we've had so much fun here we've lost track, but making good progress. As I say, as the smoke from the soldering iron goes right down my throat. Oh, that tastes good. You do not want to be breathing this stuff in. Oh, good, there's a plastic connector right there. This is going to make this fun. You can't see this, can you? No, you can't. Hold, please. There we go. That was not a good join there. Don't really like that one either, but you know what? It looks like it's on there, so let's try the other side. You guys are taking me back to the 90s with the Microsoft versus Apple stuff here. And we need more solder. Oh, I think a capacitor just attached itself to my elbow, and the capacitor fairies took it away. I think the capacitor fairies made it drop on the floor there. We're going to double check. We're going to double check. No, it might have been just a Q-tip. Okay. Alright, let's count our work here. So there are a total of 15 capacitors on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 2 more that we're missing here. Let me check Bruce's little guide here to see where we may have missed one. I see where we missed one right over there. And that's the toasty one. I know I did that one. And we missed one right over there. Alright, so let's go back. And I definitely had the caps on the desk here. So here's one. I must have dropped one on the floor. I'm just seeing. It would be a shame to lose one. And just pick this up here. Any hiding underneath? No. Ah, darn. Just excuse me a moment. I'm just checking to see if I could find one of the brand new capacitors that likely made its way to the floor without me noticing sometime during our stream. I'm not going to rewind to look because I probably didn't even catch it on camera. You know what, I'll look for it later. I'm not going to spend the time looking for it. I'll just grab another one. Thankfully we have extras. You know, I use a PC. I use a PC for games, and there are just some programs that, you know, I don't have on my Mac, or I don't have the hardware to run them, especially older stuff. So, I mean, look, to each your own. I'm not saying you gotta use a Mac or whatever. Use whatever the heck you want. Use what you have. Use what you got. Let me just clean off this little area here. I will show that on camera instead of just doing it. I just wanted to get that sort of situated there. Too far? Down? Up? There we go. Alright. There is a lot of fun gunk around here. Alright, so all I'm going to do is just put some fresh solder here and some heat. Just move that around. I forgot the flux there because I'm an idiot, but just get that excess flux, solder rather, off of there. Nice clean boards there. I cannot even speak tonight. Holy crap. Clean pads. Pads, not boards. You need a clean pair of pants. You know, we're talking about pants here. No idea what's going on. Alright, let's add some flux here. Realize this is not the most exciting stuff to watch, but I appreciate you sticking in there. I know you're probably just here to see if the darn thing works. Trust me, if I could skip to that point myself, I would. That did not catch. Come on. Yes, the fumes are making me a little crazy. Now that's weird. It's not... Hold, please. I think that made a connection there. Sometimes it's just hard to tell here. Alright, so, thanks, buddy. Alright, let's see where the last one is here. I saw it before. I almost touched the cap I told you I wouldn't touch. Bad, Steven. Do not touch that. That's the evil one. Okay, we got the one to the right of the new bus card slots. We got the two right there. Let's orient the board so it matches Bruce's wonderful little diagram here to make it a billion times easier to figure out which one we didn't do yet. Done. Done. That one's done. Let's see. Those four are done. That one's done. Yep, that's the one. Right in the center there. Let's try this one here. Alright, so this should be the last cap. Then I'm a little curious to just peek under that tape on the bottom of the board. I forget if I fixed that last time or not. Clip some of that off there. Just do it. Okay. Should be good enough for this. Again, if this works, I'm not holding my breath. If by some miracle this actually does work, we're going to have to spend a whole lot more time cleaning up this boarding, making sure that whatever we did actually lasts, because this is just, we're doing this very quick and dirty here, just to see if all this needed was some actual good old tantalum capacitors here. Not the cheapo through-hole ones, which may or may not have even worked, who knows, that I tried a year or two ago. Alright, so this should be the last one here. Alright, I think that's okay. Let's switch cameras here to give you an eye cleanser here. Make sure that you see what we've been looking at this whole time. So, here is our Quadra 840 AV board. Not too bad. This one in the corner is very suspect here. So, what I'm going to do now is just going to flip the board over. And I'm just going to see if that taped off area on the bottom here, right here, there was a very tiny little capacitor that fell off here a long time ago. And I put tape over it. I don't recall... oh, Jay. I don't recall if I fixed whatever was under here, so I'm just peeling this back very delicately to even see... I have a feeling that I fixed it. You know what? There is some solder there. I am putting that tape back on there. I do not want to disturb that. So, what do you guys think? Do you think it's time to test the board? Just for the heck of it? What do you guys think? Think it's that time? I don't know. I don't know. I need to find the case for this darn thing. It just occurred to me. I need to find the case for this. I know where the case for my 800 is. I see the 9500 case over here. It might be this one over here. Hold on. Let me stand up. Ow. I found it. Oop. I almost fell there. Let's see if this is the right one. 3 Nuba slots. Yep, this is it. What could possibly go wrong? A lot. But you know what? You know what? That's what we're here for. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so let's make some room here. Oh boy. We're going to make some room here. Let me turn off the iron so I don't blow anything up here. And Jay's going to miss out on all the fun. Believe me, if this works, he's going to be able to hear me screaming from all the way from where he lives. Alright, we got our VGA connector here. We need a little parts drawer here. We need a DB15 adapter. We might need this one. But this one should do. Okay. Hold on. I think that's Jay calling. Yes? No. No, you have the wrong number. All right, bye. Oh, that satisfaction of hanging up. All right. Let's plug this in here. Yes, it's almost midnight. We're getting a little loopy. Okay. And let me move this board for a second and put it on top of the case. We'll lift the case into view here. There we go. Alright, so the way this board works is the board goes here and sort of slides in. We're not going to be that fancy with this board because we don't know if it's going to work or not. Actually, you know, let's do that. Flip this over. We're going to do this. This is probably a very stupid idea, but I want the board to lay flat. I want to be able to look at it. In fact, the other way is even better. And I'll move the camera so you guys can see it and everything, but trust me, there's a reason for this. In fact, if I move all this over here, I'll have more space. Alright, so if I put the case down, upside down, which is fine, none of the disk drives or anything will be connected. Oh, there we go. Okay, and let's set up our second camera here. Let's actually see what the heck we're going to be looking at here. There we go. Alright, so what we're going to do is plug the board in like this. Sorry, there's no real tripod on here. This is just sitting on top of the other thing. So, yeah, let's get this a little closer. There goes the mouse. Oops. This is not the recommended way, of course, to test these machines, but you know what? This way we could definitely see if anything goes kapow! Alright, and this is the speaker. We need that to make it, I mean it's upside down, but we'll hear it if it goes bong. We have an LED light here. Plug that in. Whoop. Well, and our power button's right here on the board, so we can just push that with our finger. Okay. And we need our video. Plug in our DB15. I forget if this is a soft power machine, Dana, Bruce. If you guys remember, I will get a keyboard if I have to, but if there's 5 volts of rogue voltage running through this, you might want not to do that, but I guess it wouldn't hurt. And does this need a PRAM battery? These are all questions I should have asked before. Does this need a PRAM battery? One of these happy-go-lucky little ticking time bombs here. Ah, Dana fell asleep. That's right. Well then, we're on our own. The lunatics are now running the asylum. Alright, it's soft power. Alright, so let's grab a keyboard. Not particularly the nicest keyboard here, so you know what? If it is sacrificed to the gods, well, it lived a good life. This should have been streamed on Monday. I was working Monday. No time for streaming. Alright, you know what? We have gone this far. Oh boy. Let's get some cables here. I did have... Where'd that cable go? I did have a bit of an extension cord. Let me see if it's over here. For power cables that sort of help us out here. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Is it connected? Ah, there it is. It's connected to this guy here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, this is just a little extension cord. I'm going to plug this in to the power supply. Alright, and then I'm just going to plug this in to the wall. Let's hope there's no smoke when I do this. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. The moment of truth. I'm gonna push the power button on the front. Ah! Doesn't look like the fan is spinning on the power supply. Wait a second. Yep, that is plugged in. Let's see. Huh. Make sure this is actually plugged in here. Let's skip the little extension cord. Just plug directly into the outlet here. Because this connector is kind of deep in there. Let's try it again. Ah! Wait! The fan's going, the light's on. Wait, we got something. The fan's going and the light's on. Let's get this to VGA before something explodes here. Hold on. Okay, so the power supply fan is running. We have the LED light on. But there's no memory or anything in here, so the speaker's plugged in, I believe. Bruce says try with the PRAM battery just to be sure. Okay, we got some life out of this thing. I forget if we got this far before. To be honest, I don't recall. So the power switch is doing some stuff. So let's plug in our... I'm too excited I can't get the memory drawer open. Let's plug in our memory here. Put some RAM in it. Oh boy. Alright, let's this was the video memory that came with it, I believe. Let's see. Let's put this all back in. I'm a nervous little boy right now. The CPU got warm, just a little bit. Not cold. It is not cold. Alright, let's see. Do we have to do these in any particular order? You know, I'm just going to put one in. Just one. And let's try that again. So no bong, no chime. We don't have a PRM battery in, so it could very well be part of the problem here, among many other things, I'm sure. No display, but hold on, this is old enough that it might need one of these DB15 dealies. Hold on. Let's turn this off. We're able to power the machine on and on, which is surprising to me. Hey, I mean, I think even that's better progress than I've ever gotten out of this machine in a long time. All right, so let's put this adapter on. This is one of those, I think, like green sync adapters or whatever. It'll usually help work here. Dana, he's alive! You know I'm not having a stroke. I'm clearing my throat. All right, let's try this again. Just seeing if we get any life out of the monitor here. Just curious, but we will likely need a PRAM battery. Where did those battery sockets go? I just had them. Where did they go? Yes, I will reserve my gargling only to when if we have success here. That CPU is getting warm. You know what? Yeah, let me focus on getting a PRAM battery here. Shoot. Where was I last playing around with the PRAM battery? It was it the Mac2? Oh, here's more batteries. Here's bongs, but onboard SCSI doesn't work. Okay, so we have this here. This should hold 2 AA batteries. Let me get some fresh batteries from upstairs. I will be back in about 65, 90 seconds, something like that. Okay, we have some batteries here. Try under the keyboard. It didn't start yet. We're trying PRAM battery here. So I have some rechargeable AA's that I know are good. Let me wire this up first. Red is positive, black is ground, correct? I am not assuming anything at this point. Just trying to get this plastic off of this connector here. Yes, 2 AA batteries should be almost enough voltage of what it's expecting. It's not quite the 3.6, but it's should be just around 3. That should be enough. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it should be enough here. I'm doing this with the battery off, so I don't with the battery out of it rather, so I don't zap myself. Alright, so I'm just twisting the leads of this AA battery holder to the PRAM battery connector here to make a connection. Alright. And we're going to put our batteries in there. This is in the on switch. Alright, and let's try it. So I push the power switch and the green light goes on, the fan goes on. I know this keyboard did work before on a different Mac. Let's hold on, I have a where'd that go? I have an Ethernet card, a NuBus Ethernet card that has a little light on it. Then I can see if power is going to the NuBus board, I guess. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm seeing if... Oh, it will help if the cable's plugged in. Alright, so pushing the power key does the same thing. It gets the little light on here. We don't have a chime, even though the speaker is plugged in there. Now let's make sure that speaker is actually plugged in. I'm pretty sure, Jay, that 5 volt to ground never went away. And it's surprising to me that that light is going on or anything is doing anything at this point. Well, I know hot plugging ADB isn't going to help, but in desperate times call for desperate measures. I mean, the on-off switch is working. So that's some progress here, I guess. I honestly don't remember if it was working before or not. We're getting a light on the LED. The speaker should be okay. It is upside down. It is blocked. We should hear a bit of a whimper. I'm sort of hesitant to plug in a floppy drive because if that 5 volt is just running rampant throughout the system, it could very well damage the floppy drive I plug into it. I am thinking of how to proceed here. I'm looking around, see if I could spot any doohickeys or accessories that may help out here. Yeah, let me grab that NuBus card for a second. I'm just curious here. Hold, please. So I am just pulling. Let me see if I can get this out of here. Alright, so I have this, get that power cable off the board just in case it's not properly shielded and messing with the component. This is very thick and shielded, but it's very short, so I can't, let's see if I can get it any closer. Alright, well, there we go, Jay. So here, this is actually for my Mac82 SI here. It's one of those PDS to NuBus card adapters. And the NuBus card I have in there is this Asante Technologies Ethernet card. which also has a little local talk doohickey on it. Not local talk, a thin Ethernet rather. There we go. So what I'm going to do is take this new bus board off of it, because this has a little LED. Is this the one with the LED? Yes. It has a little LED on it. Usually when it powers on, that LED will go on. So curious if we get anything from that. Yep, LED went on for a second. So the Nubus card got power. This is interesting. I'm going to go ahead and try some different memory. That memory actually was not 100% socketed in there, but let's make sure this one clicks. Alright. You know what? Let's put this second one in there too. Let's try it again. You know, I am tempted to try with a known working Macintosh CRT. I have no place to put it on this desk. I mean, the power supply fan is spinning, but Jay, that is a good point. Does this take the same PSU as a Quadra 800? If it does, I can test that. And if that was a problem all along, I'm going to jump off of a bridge. I believe the Quadra 800 does take the same power supply. I do have a Quadra 800. So let me go get that. So that Quadra 800 was the same one you saw on a stream that the battery basically burst live in front of everyone's eyes. I'll just move this little table so I can get by. Alright, so what I'm actually going to do, hold on one second. Okay. Now, I'll ask you a question. Should I try the Quadra 800 on the 840 AV power supply, or should I try the 840 AV board on the 800 power supply? My thought process behind that is if there's something wrong with the power supply, I know the Quadra 800 boots, and that'll give us a clue. My only concern is if there's nothing wrong with the 800 power supply and I plug it into the 840 AV and it kills the power supply that works, that could be bad. So I'm just thinking. Obviously it's easier to just put the 800 board here for 2 seconds and just see if it turns on. Yeah, you know what? We'll do it both ways. All right, so I'm gonna take unplug this. So for those of you just tuning in, we recapped this board. We are getting some signs of life, and we are going to test further. Turn this PRAM battery off and unplug this power supply connector here. Ah, it's the kind with the clip. This is always fun. Sorry, this is very awkward to do. Alright. Let's move this board over here for a second. And this is our Quadra 800 board, which, has a different little plug for the PSU there, but, no, hold on. Jeez, a fine mess I've gotten myself into. Take everything off of here. Alright, so there's this little interconnect cable that goes from the PSU to the board. We could actually check. Ooh, this one's got more pins. This one's got more pins. But you know what? That's, I guess, okay. If it breaks, it's all Dana's fault. No. What I'm going to do is just check the numbers on the sides of the power supplies. It's easy enough for me to do. Let's see. This is a... what's the model? SMP220DB. This is an SMP220DB. Yep, same exact one. Alright. So, should be okay. What I'm going to do is unplug this from the board here. Oh, that's a... There we go. Okay. All right. So this is our 840. I'm sorry. This is our. What the heck am I doing here? Which one is this one? Which computer is this? This is the. Hold on. Yeah, this is the 840 AV power supply. And we're plugging it into the Quadra 800 here to see if the power supply works. That's what we're doing. It'll be a tight fit. Of course, the power switch is on the back. And video memory goes there. Oh, this is going to be a bundle of joy. I'm just glad there's some people here to keep me company. I don't even know how many people are still watching. 18 people! Hello, everybody. So let's see if we get any love out of this here. Put some memory in. Of course, it goes in the other way. Put some video memory in here. Okay. We do you have a speaker connector? Yes, we do. But I don't think that's going to reach. Oh, it is. How about that? If I could actually get that connector in there. Come on. This board has 0 electrolytic capacitors on it. How about that? All right, we're going to try without the battery. There is an LED right here. We are going to plug in video. I like your logic there, Jay. And sorry guys, just trying to get this darn connector off here. always a decision that ruins my day, is screwing these things in, actually. Alright, so let's plug this in loosely here. And if this works, that means the power supply of this machine works. So, and our ADB cord, gotta plug in. Let's try it out. Yeah, so this is the 800 board. We know that power supply works. And we know the speaker works. And that was a loud chime using the same memory here. Best tested with CRT. Okay, I was afraid of that. Now this is actually, the 800 is displaying video. So this is the 800. So does the 800 have different video circuitry than the 840, Dana? Because I'm just using one of these simple adapters with the 800 and it seems to be okay. Alright, so if that's the case, Dana, then this should work. 840 EV. Alright, so let's do this. Let's turn this off. Where's the... I need to unplug it. Let me do this. Let me remember what position these memory banks are in. 1 and 2. And that worked without a PRAM battery, but... yes, at least the power supply is still good. That is very good to know. If that's the only discovery we make tonight, well, I guess it's better than nothing. Alright, take that video memory out, take the speaker out, and then take that out. Alright, so I'm putting the board back on here, but running out of ideas, but oh, that's right, we have to put our power connector back on. There. Oh, you believe it's different. Okay, well, I'm not opposed to getting a CRT on this desk. I just don't know where I'm going to be able to fit the darn thing. It could be there's something with this cable that's kinked, but doesn't look like it. I will put this back here. Last time I remember getting this to work, it was on a composite television. So it wasn't even using a VGA connection, but why is this so loose there? But it did work. Alright, so let's plug in our power supply here. It's very stubborn, but I want to make sure that is actually connecting, or this will all be kind of for nothing here. I wouldn't be surprised, Jay, but well, we could try that. Who knows? This power connector is really tight in there, but oh, that's because it's catching the speaker cable, which is directly under it. That's bad luck there. All right, let's try it again. That power cable is fully seated. Look at that speaker. Back in. Try with the same VGA connector. Let's use only 2 of these. The same. You know, let me try from this side. Maybe I was putting them in the wrong spot, who knows. Right. Now this will take 4. Let's put all 4 of them in. I believe this is the original memory that came with it. You got that right, Dana. Alright, so let's turn our PRAM battery back on. And let's keep the keyboard unplugged just for the heck of it. So, you know, this power cable is a little long. Let's try a little short, rather. Let's try this one here. Sorry that's going to hit the microphone here, but let's try it again. Same behavior. No chime. Let's turn it off and put the power connector back on for the LED. I'm just trying anything at this point. Let's connect the floppy. Let's see if we hear any noises from the floppy drive. Nope, no signs of life from the floppy drive. Well, this speaker worked on this is the same power supply and speaker and everything that worked on the 800. Now this connector on the Quadra 800 is a little loose. So let me hold it or something. Let me see. Let me try holding it. Alright, let's think about this here. I do have a NuBus video card. Could try that. I mean, without a chime here, I'm not really convinced that this is actually booting up here. I'm gonna try. Let me just try with one memory socket in every other slot. I should probably have the service manual up for this, but I don't know if it's going to help us too much. Oh boy. Let me just see something here. No, it's not responding to the PRAM reset. Let me get a keyboard with an LED light and see if any power is coming to the keyboard. Let's see. This keyboard is not the prettiest one. It's a bit yellowed. It does work, but at least I'll be able to see if these LED lights come on when the machine comes on. Because on a Mac that should happen. And let's see. So those lights did not come on. I've never seen... Oh, there they go. Alright. Okay. Let's try that again. Alright, so the lights do come on. I'm just insane. Alright, let's try another video board. Hold on. Here is one of the many video boards that I've tried on the Mac 2 and I know work. But yes, Dana, that is exactly what is worrying me. It's not chiming. Now, could be that the audio circuit is messed up. I have no idea. But guessing at this point. But let's... Hopefully we don't blow up this nice Nubus card here. Please. That would be a real shame. Let's try. Yeah, there's a crap ton of capacitor reasons why it might not chime either. Alright, no video, but we might also need one of these little syncy adapters here. And I'm very tempted to just get an Apple CRT now because it's just a little bit crazy now, isn't it? You know what I am curious of? I'm going to take this off. I am going to unplug the memory. I'm going to see if it makes any noises. No, it's not complaining. See, if it didn't have the memory in there, it should be doing a SADMAC chime right now. Unless it has built-in memory, I honestly don't recall. I see the ROM chips here. They're labeled ROM. One of those legs for the ROM is not entirely looking the best, but check the audio out. Do I have a set of speakers? Do I have a set of speakers? I don't think I have a set of speakers, unfortunately. Alright, there is no built-in memory. See if I have a pair of headphones around here. I have a pair of broken headphones here. That the plastic is broken on them, but the cans should work. We're going to try that out here. Which is the output on here? The one closest to the Ethernet, okay. Let's try it. No. Let's try it with some memory. No. Does this need a memory installed in pairs? Does anybody recall? Very peculiar. Very, very peculiar. Well, we're about to hit 3 hours here. Unless we have a breakthrough. Not entirely sure what we could do to further diagnose this thing. Because unfortunately, we are getting no chime and no sad Mac. Now look, for all intents and purposes, I have to look at some video footage that I did a few years ago. See if we got the power LED on at all. I don't remember. We very well could be in a very similar situation. These should be. I did charge them. Let me see if there's something I could put them in just to test real quick. I could use my little multimeter here. Let's see. DC is where I should put this on, right? Maybe 200 M to test this here, maybe. Okay, no, I don't think I have a working one, Dana, unfortunately. 1.3 volts. Yeah, so they're both reading at 1.3 volts. So I'm pretty sure the batteries work. Steal one from another Mac. I took them all out of my other Macs. I don't honestly think I have a working PRAM battery. I mean, other than from like an iMac G3 or a G5 or something. I don't know where those are at the moment. This is very strange. I mean, yeah, like Dana's saying, it could be... hold on, let's see. I had another one of these that was 3 batteries. Hold on. Here's another NuBus card with LEDs on it. I am just curious. So let's see. Okay, on this NuBus card, none of the LEDs turn on. Let's just try a different slot. I'm just curious here, just messing around. No. I can check for that, sure. I mean, some of the capacitors are still showing that they have a bridged connection there, but as we were discussing earlier, that maybe that's the way it is. Who knows? Look, I don't think it is, but I didn't design this board. You tell me, Bruce. You tell me. Yeah, we're not gonna draw this out any further if it's if we don't really have any different things to show here. So let me get my beep 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 out. Here it is. So as far as measuring this, so this board is completely off. It's unplugged from power. I am just going to continuity mode. Alright, capacitor 63 has a bridge connection. Capacitor 59 has one, or 64 or 69. 64 has one. 76 has one. 75 has one. That is the actual number 69. That has one. And 27 has one. So yeah, we got plenty still on the board here, unfortunately. Need the proper battery voltage to be sure. Yeah, I mean, hold on. Let me check the this machine over here. 1 second. I mean, I don't know, guys. If I put a whole other voltage of battery in here, I don't know if it's going to make any difference. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's going to be fun, Jay. That is good to know. Hold on a second. What I'm going to do here is let's get everything away from the soldering iron here. Because there is, let me show you. Sorry, I was moving around the camera. I forgot this was right here. I think I did this last time, and it's not going to focus here because I don't even know if it can focus this good. But right, this pin right there, I touched up a little bit with solder. It doesn't necessarily look like anything is like bad about it. It just, I don't know. I could test with continuity, I guess. At this point. Yeah, that's getting a connection there. I'm just gonna sit down here for a moment. Because honestly, I've been standing for a little bit. And see if we can get a little better angle here, unfortunately. Hold on, let me switch over to the other camera. Hold, please. There we go. So, just to give you something a little different to look at for a second. I could clean up this board. I mean, there's some flux here, but I don't think that's really the cause of any issues here. What I am going to do is just take a look. Let me flip this soldering iron back on just for the heck of it here. I am just curious here I'm just taking a very good look, making sure none of the CPU pins look bridged or anything like that. I mean, it's not the cleanest board I've seen. There's hold on, where's my little, there it is. Let's oh, got a super chat, need to put back my glasses on. I'm truly out of it and mildly drunk, and I'm heading out of here, mi amigo. Good luck and good night, sir. Night, guys. Well, thank you very much, Greg. Eep! And I thank you for your support. Good night, Grudy. I won't be much longer here. Famous last words. But I'm just checking to see. Yeah, I mean, there's some gunk here. It look like nothing green or anything. I am just running my tool through the legs of these pins. And just trying to, I don't know, coax out anything that may be bridging something here. Just going through this relatively quickly here. Anything that's being bridged here? No. Let's see. The ROM area is. I mean, if the ROM doesn't pass, that's, I assume, why it won't chime. But as Dana mentioned, there could be other reasons. There's a lot of gunk on this board here. Let me just reflow this. Oh, I would need my flux. Where to put my flux? Flux! Flux, where art thou? We're getting delirious here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember where I put my tools. Because I moved everything around. Everything. There we go. Where'd the thingy go? There. Yeah, this is a mess, guys. Sorry. Just really trying briefly to see if this had a ROM sim, which this does not. This has one built in. I would try a new ROM if I had one, but that's okay. You know what? Here, let me not bore you guys. I like your thinking, Jay. Let's just take a freehand look with the microscope. If I get that darn cable unplugged here. Come on. Don't do that. Gorp. I like Gorp. Alright, so here was that area real quick I was just testing. That is making a connection there. But see, hold on, I'm trying to be steady here. That definitely doesn't look clean. But I don't know if that would be causing the problem. Oh. So these are the ROMs we're looking at now. See, I can't tell if those are cracked solder joints or if it's just gunk or scunge or what. You look at this from a top-down angle here. I mean, I guess this could use a cleaning. I was looking at the wrong thing. Let's see. This actually, this DSP here looks like it's seen better days. Those pins. Alright, now these pins here on this little digital signal processor thing here. Shoot. Sorry, I'm losing the focus here. 1 second, guys. I also have to turn this thing. See, that doesn't even look that bad now. No worry, Oz, RetroComp. I fully understand that. Fully understand. I'm glad I inspired some good. Ooh. Yeah, that actually looks, this looks pretty nasty. I mean, that looks like it's all touching to me. To my untrained eyes, right there. That looks pretty bad to me. I don't know about you guys. Because that looks like they're touching. Looks like they're touching. What do the professionals think? Yeah, you know what? Let's put this back up here. And point in the general direction. Now, you know what? We have the friggin' arm. Let's use the arm. There we go. That's why you brush your teeth, kids. Alright, let's clean this up a little bit. I know this is very late. Those of you who wish to go home to your families and your children, you're welcome to do so. I have this little brush thing. I wonder if this is gonna... It's very fine. No, that's not doing anything. I got a toothbrush. Yeah, let me get my good tweezers here. I think that's the only thing I have that's maybe thin enough to do that. Except maybe this little... Hey, Mike. We got a power light, but we don't got a chime, and that's about it. There is some scunge between these legs here on this DSP chip. So who knows? We're just cleaning a little bit. This board did go through a dishwasher at one point in its life. That probably did not help. It would probably help if this went through an ultrasonic cleaner. This is a digital signal processor. So this is for like your audio and video circuitry and all that new age fancy digital stuff. I am getting quite a lot of this off on the tip of this here, so I'm just going to give this a few passes and we'll plug it in, and you know what? Maybe we'll call it a night. Yeah, they used to boast of how many DSPs computers had. Wow, yeah, there is a lot of gunk in here, actually. I mean, I don't know if that's if this gunk is conductive or not, but it probably can't be helping it. The idea, I believe, behind these processors was that they were specially tuned for audio and video functionality, like what the Quadra 840 AV has. So instead of the CPU doing a lot of this AV conversion and whatever work, you'd have one of these processors specially designed to handle that stuff. I think this side is the worst of it. Barely. Ugh. Alright, this is the last pass I'm taking with this tool. And then we'll try turning it on again. How about that? Some of these definitely feel like they have more crap in between them than others. I mean, this board needs a good ultrasonic cleaning, I'm sure. If only I knew somebody who had an ultrasonic cleaner. I also have distilled water and a few subwoofers, but... Yes, that is true, Mike, but it may be grounding something, or I don't know. We're just grasping at straws here. I'm just making sure... Is this one messed up too? Hold on. I'll send him. Where the heck? How could I? Ugh. Hate this thing. Oh, I know it isn't, but better than nothing, I guess. All right, let's try and boot it up, I guess. I mean, I don't know at this point, but I'll try and boot it up one more time before we head to bed. How about that? All right, so let's switch the camera here. Oop, not that camera. All right, let's try this one more time. Okay. We got quite a few people still here. Mike, David, Jay, Scarlet Swordfish. 13 folks. Well, let's see what we can do. All right, we're gonna try. All right, so our batteries are in the on position, even though we may not have enough voltage. Put our video memory back in. Our system memory back in. Okay, we got our power LED. We got our power connector. We have our speaker. We have our keyboard. And we have a video adapter. Let's see if anything has changed. doesn't appear to have done anything. Let me just try one more thing with this toothbrush here. I know it ain't gonna do anything, but it makes you feel better. I got probably had the same problem on this VLSI chip here. Wouldn't be surprised. All right, let's try it again. Yep, I'm gonna guess that's a big no. Well, we have some life to this. I could sit this in a thing of distilled water overnight. I don't know if that's gonna do anything, Jay, or white vinegar, or I want to try and let this soak in something maybe to help clean all this gunk off the board. I don't have an ultrasonic cleaner, so I can't do that. But I'm trying to think of the next best thing I can do, just to do something with it. But yeah, that is a good sign, Mike, that it is soft powering, which is good. But Bill says no. Well, I'm just throwing out ideas here. You guys know more than I do about that. But yep, poor little guy. At least there are some signs of life. That is a plus, I guess. Speaking of plus, let's check the polarity of all our capacitors. Not that it seems to matter much, because they all seem to be doing the same thing. Yep. They all look okay. Yeah. Yeah, I will do that. I will, I don't have too much of this alcohol left. That's the problem. So I can't bathe it in it. All right. Well, we will toothbrush it with some alcohol off the stream. I'm gonna end this because we've been going on for too long here, and I gotta go to bed. You guys gotta go to bed. But putting some alcohol in like one of these little cups here and using a toothbrush, soaking it up and spraying it around, or a spray like Bill is suggesting, may work. But look, I don't think it's a total failure here. We got some progress here. Oh, that CPU is getting hot. So, yeah. It's trying. Something is definitely trying here. If the CPU was cold, I would be concerned. But, yeah, there's something going on. So, yeah, I'm not going to give up, Bill. Don't worry. But thank you, everybody, for joining. I know we didn't have wasn't as successful as we wanted, but I mean, that's what happens. We're messing around with some stuff that may or may not be able to be fixed. At least we put some new caps on there. We toasted some caps. We had some fun with that. But thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the likes, the comments, all that fun stuff. At least we made some progress here, and we'll try this again another day, and maybe give it a good cleaning and try see if that helps us out. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, David. Thank you to Scarlet Swordfish, Trina, anybody that was watching, chipping in here. Appreciate it. Can't win them all exactly, but I wish you guys good night, and thank you for sticking around here, and I hope it was at least entertaining you for the past 3 hours and 24 minutes. Oh, time flies. Enjoy the rest of your night or your morning, wherever you are, and see you guys later. Good night. Click the end stream button. Are you sure you want to get in the stream? No!